Personal finance expert and MeVest founder Lesley-Anne Scorgi joining us on Canada Now. And Lesley-Anne, your latest article in The Star discusses how you can save money and the environment at the same time.
That's right. So cleaner, greener living is actually, it's this combination of consuming less and spending less and wasting less. And because of those efforts, you'll start to see some benefit to your bank account. The timeliness of this article, though, is that we are celebrating this week Earth Day. And I like to extend it to like Earth Week, because what better opportunity to, see the rewards of less consumption on our planet, but it's also this silver lining of a stronger bank account.
Yeah. And you look at, and I love this because there is nothing I think I like more in life than getting rid of things. If it's selling it or giving it away so that it can be used again, I love getting rid of stuff. You can take on a minimalistic mindset. Maybe you have too many articles of clothing or you have too many books lying around.
Right. And there's just so many things that indicate that maybe you're a hoarder and should do something about it. Like if you've got broken equipment, and I think of kitchen appliances, they're classic, right? Like if your mandolin is missing one of the legs that keeps it steady on the table, you should really not be using that tool. You will slice your fingers.
Yeah.
But there's, you see so many people actually keep old things, and it is a scarcity mindset. So when we look at a minimalistic approach to our consumption, we actually just generally buy less. But then when there are things that are broken and no longer serving us, we recycle them. So every time that you add something to or accumulate, we'll just call it like accumulation. Every time you are one of those accumulators, you're taxing the environment. There's production, shipping, packaging, and eventually a trip to the landfill. So your ultimate end of the accumulation cycle should be ideally a recycling point, or you might be moving something along to a new owner. The point is this, though. Accumulation is not your friend, not for the environment, and certainly not for your wallet. And if you need some inspiration, there are some fantastic episodes of The Minimalist on Netflix, or even Marie Kondo. When, we're all on lockdown, you might as well go and check out what some of these folks are doing to live a leaner lifestyle. And they are into donating, they are into recycling and moving things along to new homes.
It only took one episode of Marie Kondo for me to go through all of my clothing, and I found like 4 or 5 things, and I'm like, I don't really need that, and frankly, I don't wear it enough or anymore, and I wore it out. Why do I still have that? So I ended up donating those things. Now, from getting rid of things to, okay, if you do need to get something, if you do need to buy something, why not check into the secondhand market?
Absolutely. I'm such a big fan of this. And it's not so much about whether we can afford or not afford new things. It's about environmentalism. And like my little guy is graduating into a toddler bed, and we chose to get that toddler bed off of Kijiji. Great quality bed. There's literally nothing wrong with this toddler bed, but why would I go and buy a brand new toddler bed when I can use a used toddler bed for my toddler and it's half the price. It's actually less than half the price. And I'm saving that person a trip to the landfill. So the secondhand market, I use it all the time. My car was secondhand. Lots of stuff in our house is secondhand, and there's no shame in it. In fact, you're starting to see this like cultural trend of celebrating secondhand good quality goods, and that's great. Again, you're like not accumulating, you're just buying secondhand only what you need.
Yeah, and staying with the theme of saving money and helping your environment, you can make your home energy efficient. You can keep an eye on the thermostat, seal the doors and windows as well.
Totally. And if you are like me and your furnace was really, really old and it was time, like we just did this replacement, we were able to take advantage of some energy credits but you're already starting to see the benefit of some of the improvements in the energy efficiency of the home. So this is not me telling everybody to run out and go and buy a new furnace. Like it's more like at the end of its life cycle, when you have the opportunity to do your upgrade, look for what kind of eco credits are available for you. And then just generally in your home, be more energy efficient, seal those doors and windows, take a shower that is 1 minute less your usual time, and make sure that you're not, you're turning the lights off and you're not wasting water. And they call this like phantom electricity usage, but you wouldn't want to also have too many things continuously plugged into the wall, because there's like phantom surges of energy that go through those plugs. So making sure that you're just doing everything you can to shore up the efficiency of your home is so key.
Are you like me? Do you unplug things? No, we don't need it. I'm unplugging it.
I unplug a lot of stuff, and then Tim comes along and says, "Why doesn't the light work?" That's me.
Hey, a tip on the furnace as well, and I just learned this far too late, but the filters that go into a furnace often are too good. They can be too good. So they collect way too much. And because they are way too good, your furnace ends up working that much harder.
Yes.
And it's on longer. So you might want to talk to your furnace person, if you have one. I do. You might want to talk to your furnace person and say, hey, what do I actually need as far as a filter is concerned? Because very often, like me, I was like, I'm getting like the best one. So I would get a pack of 3 furnace filters, and they'd be like $65 for a pack of 3. And my furnace guy was here, and he goes, your furnace is working way too hard. Why do you have these filters? I said, because these are the ones I'm supposed to get. And he says, no. They say that because they want you to buy them, but really all you need is like a $5 one. For your furnace, all you need is like a $5 one. So you might be spending too much money on furnace filters, and you might be getting them to work too hard.
I agree. And we also have a furnace guy. His name's Ziggy. He's awesome.
Ziggy the furnace guy.
Ziggy the furnace guy. So you're not the only one who has a furnace guy. But actually during our renovation, it was great to learn about energy efficiency and go through the quoting process where we quoted out the air conditioning and the furnace at the same time, and what kind of credits would we get. But we learned so much. And do you know what Ziggy brought over? He brought over a pack of furnace filters that cost $12, and there were 3 of them in there. So
there you go.
Point, like, you do not need the creme de la creme of furnace filters. You can get your furnace to be super efficient without. And here's actually, we're fast approaching air conditioning season. I hope, I really hope.
It snowed today. You're Toronto.
Yeah, in Toronto it snowed today, but I think tomorrow it might be 15 degrees. Needless to say, when you are doing the air conditioning in your home, there are going to be days when maybe you don't need it. You can do the good old-fashioned cross breeze. I think back to my days in university with my Chevy Cavalier and creating that cross breeze in the car, because there was no air conditioning in my super old car, but it did work. And so that's another idea for you to save on energy.
Absolutely. You get the thermostat as well, that you could implement different temperatures at different times. So if you're not home, let's say for 8 hours out of the day, I mean, it's not the case right now, but if you're not home for 8 hours out of the day, maybe you could let the temperature go up a degree or 2 to save from the AC coming on so much. Now, outdoors, and we've talked about this before, and you remind us in your latest article in the Star, if you have 2 cars, how about 1?
Absolutely. And really, it is not looking like you are going to need 2 cars unless you and your spouse are both essential workers. Most families are going to 1 car. Or if you were a no car person, you might want to consider going no car for a little while longer. So going down to 1 car is going to save you on insurance. It's also going to save on gas and whatnot. If you are going to be that car owner though, so maybe the pandemic taught you that you needed a car. This is not the opportunity to go out and buy a Tesla, by the way. They're really out of reach for so many people financially. And so are a lot of electric vehicles. We will see that shift start to happen. Will they be more affordable soon? But we're maybe 5 years away from that for like average families being able to afford them. But the point is that if you've got a car, do keep it well maintained so that you do not have the environmental problems that tend to pop up with older vehicles or vehicles that are poorly maintained, and they're leaking fluids and not being, they're idling more and using more fuel than is absolutely necessary. So keep it maintained.
Yeah, and it drives me crazy when I see somebody. It happens on my street all the time. I see somebody just sitting in their car with the car on. It's running, and they're just looking at their phone. Shut your car off. You don't need to have it on. Let's go back inside and go into our kitchen and go into our fridges. Stop wasting food. Canadians, Canadian families, that is, throw out way too much food each year.
That's right. Can you believe the average Canadian family they're just throwing out almost $100 a month of food. And the last time I checked, nobody right now can really afford to do that. And my friends, if that is you and you're throwing out food, please just donate that money to the food bank. Seriously, they really need it right now. So this is so easy. Do a meal plan. Like, go to the store with a list. So you know this, like, I'm expecting right now, and heaven help me if I go grocery shopping without a list, because hungry mommy here wants everything on the shelves. We don't go without a list, neither myself nor my husband. And it's because, like, it's so easy, even for financially minded people, to kind of meander and go off track. The point here, though, is food consciousness really starts with, what do you need? Only get that. And then the second level of food consciousness is actually about, like, the packaging. It's about, when you're buying something, do you need the 6 different containers of plastic for your toddler's applesauce? Or could you actually go with the larger container that's maybe a glass container, and do it just that way? So you have less plastic and less single-use items.
And the glass jar you can use
Absolutely.
afterwards. You could fill it with pasta or whatever and just have it on the shelf.
Absolutely.
So Lesley-Anne, what is the best use of all this money that we're saving by being greener?
Well, I always lean toward this, but if you've got consumer debt, that's your first go-to. Take this money, which all the ideas we talked about today, when I tallied them up, they're over $150 worth of savings in a month. So imagine you did all of what we just talked about. You start to generate that $150 back into your wallet, put it on your debt. If you don't have debt, congratulations. It just means you get to save more. Yeah. And, whether that's for an emergency fund or your retirement or maybe your child's RESP, do put that money to good use. And by the way, it's also totally cool right now, because we're so pandemic fatigued, that if you need to spend some of that money on your mental health or just being well and having some fun, you can do that too.
Yeah. Well, check out MeVest.ca, personal finance expert, MeVest founder, Hammering Hank's mom, Lesley-Anne Scorgie. Lesley-Anne, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
All right. You too. We'll continue.